One. Hi, everybody. It is September 7th, and as promised, I have my two erstwhile colleagues, Jake and Wayne. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well, doing well.
Jake?
Can't be better. Can't be better.
All right. So the first thing that we wanted to open up with, guys, and then this is going to be kind of a long format show today. There's a lot of information to cover, as I promised earlier today. But the first thing we wanted to address, though, is this the response, basically, that NASA had to what I believe our reporting regarding the double eclipse that we reported on last week. You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
So here's the video that NASA put out. There was no sound with it. It was a closed caption, but it basically just says sometimes other bodies go in front of the sun, right? So I want to talk about this phenomenon a little bit from some of the input that we're getting from our team. What I think is the most important piece of this is figure 6. I think everybody understands that if we look through the various angstroms, that we see that the effect of the drainage is different in each of those power ranges, right?
That's correct.
On September 1st, we actually lost the sun from visible light wavelength. So basically what we're saying is from this information, it's easy to deduce that the sun did not suddenly disappear on September 1st, as shown in figure 6. But the image shown was simply of a black background, and the true image detected by SDO was not shown. Isn't that amazing? The powers that be, therefore, seem to be using several ways of hiding the object that's draining the sun of energy. But now we also know that the sun is being affected in the visible light range as well as other wavelengths, whilst that fact is being hidden from us. Now we can say that the sun is truly going dark, but this is being hidden from viewers of the surface of the Earth, probably with a whole fleet of sun simulators, and we've been talking about that ad nauseum. Perhaps the occasional perception that the sun is flashing is a hint to what's happening. The sun, this is our conclusion of our team, that the sun is going dark and is either dying or being drained. Guys, can you give me your feedback on that, what you think?
Well, I'll start out on this. So when we start talking about, now that picture right there, Steve, and the 211 angstroms, what disturbs me about this is that that's not a clean, crisp break. The occlusion is jagged. It is showing fusion taking place in the areas that we already know are being blacked out by whatever is happening here, but the fusion is happening behind it. Now, that doesn't make sense. The eclipse theory, sorry, NASA, I'm not buying it because you can't explain that. And
well,
Steve,
yeah, and what I'm trying to point out here is that they said look at this, on September 1st, let's go back to this video again here. You can find it again. It's all right. They actually, it was funny because they actually used the same image we used.
okay. And so they don't, so people are just, you know, they're lemmings. They went right by that and did not ask the question, well, if we got such a sharp obscuring of the event, the eclipse, right?
Yeah.
Would not the Earth have, or the moon have, the same type of crispness to that? I don't know.
Yeah, no, here's the thing that I'm trying to point out, which is the simplest thing to say. They said on September 1st, 2016. I'm showing September 2nd. What happened on September 2nd? What happened on September 1st? What happened on August 31st? What happened on August 30th? What happened on August 29th? That's
still happening. Still happening today.
And it happened today again, Jake? Did you confirm that?
Yep.
So it happened again today. By the way, go ahead.
And guys, too, I wish I had my information with me. I sent you guys some pictures, but if you looked at the first on the SDO, the final few images before the sun's revealed again, it's not the same eclipse that we've been documenting over the past week and a half or so.
Well, let's pull it up now.
What time did the sun come back out again today?
That I don't have that information. with me. I apologize. But the images I'm talking about, 732, normally like we've talked about before,
Oh,
it comes right.
Right there.
Is this what you're talking about, Jake?
Let's see here. No. I sent you guys an email. It looks like how the first eclipse, when the internet freaked out on August 2nd when we had the SDO eclipse, it looked like that at the end of the 1st of September around 7:33. If you go back, 7:33 UTC time, you'll see what I'm talking about on the 1st.
On the 1st of
Yep.
September?
September, correct.
And 7:33?
Yep, UTC time. See that in the top corner there?
This, the moon?
Yep. On top of the other eclipse that we normally have been witnessing.
Right, and that's what NASA was trying to say when we reported on the double eclipse, that that was caused by the Earth and the moon. And that's the lie. It's a bald-faced lie. It's just a bald-faced lie, guys. There's no other way to look at it. And like 7, you come today to the 7th, and then like I say, we go back a couple frames here. I think it was at 7:24 we had it today. And then sometimes when you do this, the images disappear. That's also fun. There we go.
Yeah.
7:17, the sun started showing up again in this band. Now watch this. Now I don't even know what's going to happen here, guys. I'm going to change the measurement from 211 angstroms to 335 angstroms. Same exact time, same exact precise moment in time, okay? It's a different shape than the other one. It's not a clean shape that a planet would cause, guys. That's my point. In 304, it's greater.
Can you blow that up, Steve? You see, this is what I don't understand. Where's the occlusion? There should be a very sharp, defined line.
Well, that's just it, Wayne. They're not even claiming to try to answer the other days. They're just trying to put everybody to bed because a double eclipse is sensational. They saw that on our channel come out, so they answered it with a lie, and now we're still seeing the same occlusion.
You really see it in that last image, though. In that pink sun that you had up, you really see the clean at 7:33. That was not that one, but the other one, the salmon-colored one. Acid salmon.
But again, only a small part of the sun is occluded on top at the 1600. Again, suggesting that it's either a porous type of material or that the sun is actually being energy drained.
So these are the exact timestamp, the exact same image, just in different wavelengths. Look at that. There should be continuity, shouldn't there?
Yeah. So if you go back to look at the moon eclipse on the 1st, you'll see that if you go to the different measurements, that moon eclipse stays the same. It is a solid block. It's an object blocking the sun. In this case, I'm not convinced we have an object blocking the sun anymore, guys.
So I went back and began to look at different papers on suns, stars, interactions, and trying to see if I could find any papers published or theories on, let's say you have our case, we have a medium-sized yellow dwarf star. It's in a neighborhood that, as we found out very recently, is very crowded. And we are finding more and more red dwarf stars. We also know that these red dwarf stars do not show up in the visible light spectrum. So my point to this gentleman is this. I wanted to see if there was an example of where we could see one star draining another.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of that. And I think that before the trolls start coming out and start trying to debunk this, to say that in the realm of possibility, even if it's less than 1%, that this type of interaction could happen in the Goldilocks zone, in our special little place in the neighborhood. To say that it couldn't happen, I think, is ludicrous. To say that it is happening, I think that there is strong evidence, Steve Olson and Jake as well, is that I think we are seeing it.
Well, speaking of evidence, so let's just be good scientists here for a second, or try to be anyway. All right, so we are now seeing this data, and we say, okay, hypothesis 1 is that the sun is being drained. That's the one that WSO has been pursuing, right?
Yep.
And for that to be true, I would want to see some validating information, Wayne. And I think that we would have to go to someone that was measuring sun output.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
How did you do with that? I'm going to turn the screen over to you for a second, Wayne, because I think that you did get some data, but tell us how you had to get it.
Yeah. And Steve, we'll take a break right here and let me pull it up. Ground control. You know, guys, life is good. You have to smile. Okay, that is the one I have, and I can give the story of a man named Jed, poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed.
Then one day he was shooting for some crew, and up come the brown gum grumbling crew.
There y'all go. See? All right.
I'm not
Forget about carpool karaoke. We got YouTube karaoke here.
Hey, in my former life, in my dreams, you know, I worked as a roadie when I was 16 years old for Concerts West. And I think that that's what got me. Okay, let me pull this one up. Oh, good. This is the one I'm going to show you. Look at this, guys. Let me save this.
And then the other thing I noticed last night, I forgot to tell you, Wayne, was that every night down as you get further south in the hemisphere in Louisiana, it is a deep red every night, iron oxide to the east. It is heavy red. But anyway, let's pick it up right here.
Okay.
So we were just talking about how SDO seems to be showing a loss of solar output, Wayne, and one data point that you found. Why don't you tell us what you found in terms of solar output from the ground?
Yeah, so we get this from our subscribers. Dave, thank you for sending this, and I'm telling you, we got some good observers here. So this is a output report from the solar panels that is on a person's roof. Now, I want to show you something that really gets kind of strange here. They have been seeing, oh, not that. Oh, forgive me here a second, guys, as I pull up the second one.
Not that other stuff wasn't interesting.
No. Look at this. And this is being reported all over the place, that there is a reduction in total solar input. And they're watching this by the graphs. And it continues. And Steve, we're getting reports as well that the sun, now you can say it appears to be or whatever, but it appears to be much further to the south to southwest than it should be to the west southwest. So Steve, I think that this is evidence of something going on.
Yeah, and what we're looking at here, guys, is this is just somebody's solar output graph. And one of the cool things about the solar revolution over the last couple of years, Wayne, was that as they were installing these panels for folks, they were also coming up with some really good measurement software just so that on a day-to-day basis you could see how your solar panels were doing, right?
Exactly.
And so that's what this data is. And strangely enough, we can't find solar output data per se that tells us over the course of time, let's say over the course of the year, how the sun is varied in its output in those various measurement ranges. So if any of our subscribers does have access to such information, we would love to see it.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, we could really begin to use that again as it's either going to affirm or it's going to disallow.
Yep.
One of the two.
So guys, we wanted to get this information out here that there's some bald-faced lying going on right now, and it's pretty obvious. And you know, Wayne, as much as I've seen lie after lie after lie, for some reason, this one particularly got to me. I was just like, that was such a bald-faced lie, slap in our face type lie. You know, it really made me mad.
Listen, while you were away, I went on quite a little journey myself. So, I believe one of the viewers wrote that NASA in Hebrew means deceiver.
Are you kidding me?
No, actually sent that to me. And I just thought that was so interesting that, acronyms do have meanings in other languages.
You know, that's funny you mentioned that, because I just recently saw something where the NASA logo also stands for deception. The little red serpent's tongue, it looks like, through NASA.
Yeah. Have you ever guys seen the studies or documentary research that people have done on space logos?
Yeah.
They're all the same.
Yeah.
What do you think that is? What do you think that little wisp red triangle thing is supposed to represent? Do you think we have an updated spell yet?
Well, I've got a book on insignias, and actually, according to this researcher, that insignia goes back way back. And so here's just a theory. When CERN put up the goddess, who was she? Oh, come on, guys. Who's the Hindu goddess of destruction?
Oh, Shiva.
Shiva, exactly. Well, NASA and every other country that does space exploration, and you can go back, and Jake, you were right, you go back and look at other countries, their insignias as well. And what you begin to find out is something very interesting, is that this insignia shows up everywhere. And you have to begin to ask yourself why. Well, there is a theory that they're actually paying tribute to a particular deity that is giving them access to space.
And this is the little switch that we're talking about, guys. This switch here?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way I understood it too.
Say that again, Jake?
I said that's what I understood about it as well. We were given access.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
The rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper, doesn't it?
It does.
No idea.
I mean, don't ask me why you can't see stars in space by a camera, because I won't answer you.
No, you are going to answer that question. By the way, everybody, just to kind of pre-warn you, we're going to do a special segment on Friday with Wayne, who's been doing some tremendous research on the phenomenon of why can't we see stars in space pictures. And just want to leave that out there as a little teaser, because if you go back and look at NASA photographs like Wayne has done, you will find out that you will not be able to see stars in any of the pictures.
Yeah, although there are some people that
crack at why.
You know, again, I just going, okay, so where is this movie studio again?
I know, right? I don't want see, the problem with all of this is that if we find out that a lot of this space flight has been hoaxed or staged or whatever, which is totally possible, you guys, I'm not stuck to anything. In fact, the more I get into these areas of research, the less I feel confident that I know, quite frankly. And I don't want to have to capitulate to flat earthers, Wayne. I really don't.
I don't either. You know, no.
But guys, I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff that points to it, and you know what? I'm just going to keep my mouth shut on that. All right, so.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
So anyway, Jake, what I've got here is that little clip that you did with the SECCHI thing.
Yeah. Is this today's?
Yes, it is. And as I begin to see this more, Jake, I'm telling you, I am seeing it.
There's so much going on, all the interference in this particular footage. I've never seen as much interference, by the way, looking at this. And trust me, I spend a lot of time looking at these. And that right there. But I saw it. It's right there directly across the nose of the baffle, or the oculator, I should say, or whatever.
The oculator.
Can you see it?
Yes, I can see a little, yeah.
That. And I maybe I'm reaching. I'd like to do a little more research. I'm going to follow this as well, just like I have with the original. But I think it is below the spacecraft that we've been following. I think that little flicker there is actually below what we're tracking.
I think you're right, Jake. I agree with you. I think this object, by the way, is much closer to the camera than we think.
You know, I was looking at the weather cams, the Canadian Alaskan weather cams, the FAA, and I noticed a new lens flare that kind of started popping up with a little mini triangle with a dot in the middle of it. So I'd like to see what happens if you can clear that up a little bit, Wayne, and collaborating with the photos that I've captured, because that's interesting to me. You're saying you're seeing a triangle with a dot in the middle. That's what I've been seeing on the FAA cameras here as of late.
Yeah, I am. And you know what, Steve? If we can step frame it, you'll see it as well.
Yeah, I can slow it way down here now that I've got it in the tool. Can you guys see this?
I think that's pretty cool.
So let's see.
So it's past the camera adjustment.
What is going on inside the cone?
There is some kind of weird, well, we say it's weird, but I think, again, watch it. Okay, right. Look at there, right there. That is a triangle. And you can advance another frame and you'll see it as well.
Holy crap, I see it.
You see it?
Yes, I do.
Tone it down. Don't go the other way. Right there.
Right here?
The next frame. Where's your gamma set at? Look at that.
Yeah, I see it now. I know what you're talking about. It's shiny. It's the white.
Yep, that's a triangle.
It is. It is.
But look at
back it up one more frame. You can see it really clear too. There it is.
And look what's taking place inside that cone.
I know. That's what I'm getting interested in. Look at how.
Look at that.
It seems like some kind of energy.
Well, it does, doesn't it? It almost looks like there is an arc effect taking place in there. Professor, please take a look at this and tell us if that's what we're seeing. Look at that, Steve. And Jake, it's actually, it looks to me to be a reaction, an energy reaction in there.
Here, I'll do a sound effect.
But that's just a lens flare, guys.
Yeah, all right. You know, that's all right.
Oh, by the way, anybody that says these are lens flares, let's on the SECCHI spacecraft. Let me do a quick review. These are high energy protons and electrons that are reflecting off of objects. Lens flares are not possible, dumbass. I just have to say dumbass once, because, man, you know what I hate about the trolls the most, especially the smart ones, right? The ones that are government trolls. They know how to get you off and doubting in reasonable doubt of anything you see by lying their face off. Like, I had this one guy tell me that we weren't seeing ultraviolet light from SDO.
What?
I'm like, then what are you seeing, dumbass?
Well, he doesn't understand what the satellite was designed
They
for. It's
count on people not knowing, you know, obviously this is complicated stuff, and I don't mean that you get down on anybody, but they count on nobody doing the research to prove them wrong. So they'll say something ridiculous like, oh, that's just a lens flare, hoping that you'll just walk away, right? Well, most people aren't going to do the research that Wayne or Jake would do, where they go in and actually see how the camera works.
You know, guys, I am in awe here. Look at this still. You can see what looks to me to be an electric reaction at the tip of, I know you can't see my cursor, but we go back on at the base of the tail. Yes, sir, right there. You had it right there. Now look at there, go up to the north, right there. Now come back down. Do you see, come back down the tip of the black. Now go to your left. You see that arch?
Yep.
It's very clear in there. One at the top, one in the middle. There's a light reaction taking place. Look at this. And it has such clear definition. Look at that. Do you see that, gentlemen?
Yeah.
There is an electrical discharge, plasma, whatever you want to talk, taking place at the north.
Sorry about that. Let me get back to
That's
it.
all right. Look at that.
It's almost as if it's rotating around.
Yeah, and you can actually see.
Hi, everybody. It's... God dang it.
Wait a minute. I just had a deja vu moment.
I can even slow this down a little bit more.
Fascinating, fascinating. Look at that. Look at that. That's my point. Do you see that? It looks like there's an oscillation.
Isn't that amazing? I'm just looking at it in awe and wonder at this point. I'm just like, what is that? You know?
And our mothership,
Hey, did you guys know that it's called the WSO mothership now?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
well, and rightfully so, sir.
Yep.
And rightfully so. Look at that.
Yeah, I know. But before we get off this, let's look at this corroborating photo that I was talking about earlier today. The one that you got. Who was the person that got this for us, Wayne, so I can give him credit for it?
I believe it was Elaine.
Elaine. Now, this is one of those addicted to sports cameras, guys, and this was August 26th. And it just seems it just seems like a corroborating piece of evidence to this whole phenomenon, doesn't it, guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm trying to have the the mind going, okay, so lens anomaly, lens flare. I think that this is a celestial event of showing what's going on. I don't know, call me silly, call me what, but apparently the Earth's atmosphere, gentlemen, acts as a very nice parabolic lens, which tells me that you can't have it both ways. I can't see the moon that is apparently 250,000 miles thereabout from the Earth, but I can't see, wait a minute, I can actually, look at that. Where have we seen this before?
I know, right?
So what if it's close enough to us that if it's emitting light, right, which we know it is, we know that it's emitting, gentlemen, may I interject here, photons, because it is a light source. I think we could very well be seeing what we're seeing on SECCHI.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. What do you think, Dave?
Looks corroborating enough to me. Almost to the T. We're just seeing it at a different angle, but
yeah.
Wow.
And we could actually get our coordinates from this too, because we can go back to the occupancy. So if we got an ambitious person out there, it's 0340 local time, 26. You can actually go see this image on Addicted Sports yourself if you want to go look at it. The other interesting thing, there's other anomalies here that I won't even get into, but unbelievable corroboration there. So, hey, Wayne, before we let everybody go off this video today, though, and this is just the first of many installments this week, we've got a lot of work to do, a lot of stuff to catch up on. One of the things I was hoping you could do for us, Wayne, is a little update on our weather.
Yeah. So,
let me give you the screen here.
Sure enough. All right. So we do have something very, listen, disturbing, interesting, odd. I don't know what word you like to add to this. We have been documenting this vortices, and I believe that this is a high pressure system. Am I right, that gentleman? Let's see, it's going westward. Any case, high or low pressure, whatever you want to call this, but it has been building, and it's been building for months now, and it used to be 2 vortices in here, vortexes. Now it's 1. But here's the disturbing part. Let's go look at this from the pole position. I wanted to bring your attention to what this is doing.
Wayne, real quick, could I just quickly explain for the viewers what we're looking at? A lot of new subscribers.
Yes, please do. Yes.
So basically, we have tools available to us through the government, NASA, et cetera, where they allow us to look at weather patterns. And this is one of those tools where we can actually look at high-level winds. We can look at the jet stream and other phenomena on the Earth, including particulates and so forth. What Wayne's got this tuned into right now is what's called, at a very high altitude, just needless to say. But this is basically the layer of our atmosphere that touches space that we're looking at right now. So go ahead, Wayne.
Yes, so when we begin to look at what this happened, this storm is not abating. It's intensifying. It's actually throwing the wind at the very top level, going in the other direction. Now, look what's taking place up here on the North Pole. We've got something going on here, gentlemen, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And let me give it a different view so you can really get the impact. Look at this. This is actually starting right here. Now, this is the predominant direction at these latitudes that you would see this. This is normal. But look at what's happening here. It's going opposite, and it's pulling it into another low pressure system here, and then it casts it out, and then it throws it back out into the mainstream. So, guys, I believe that there is something pulling on our Earth that is causing a great deal of change, particularly with this aberration right here. And Jake, you've been watching this with me as well.
Yeah, that's your fault. You've done a really good job of explaining on what's going on, and I think I've learned as watching your presentations. I now watch it every day. I look at it least 2 or 3 times a day. So
yeah, and by the way, here, just plugging both Jake and Wayne's YouTube channels. So we all know that we can't cover every little detail on WSO. So I'm building the relationship with Jake and Wayne on their channels because they've agreed to actually do more detailed scientific dives on things that we touch on in the show. And I just wanted to appreciate you guys for doing that.
Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you for the opportunity. And gentlemen, I pull your attention here. Look, 283 miles an hour, 455 kilometers. I mean, it's really moving. Look at this. And this is very unusual.
Wait, Wayne.
Yes, sir?
I don't mean to interrupt, but I just noticed this just now looking at it. But above that vortices, does it not look like the northern hemisphere jet stream is also dipping now?
You can actually, good observation, sir. It's pulling.
That's a breach.
This tug. This, okay.
That's huge.
And I think that there would be meteorologists who would agree that we're seeing a tug by this huge vortex, low pressure, high pressure, whatever it is, it's big and it is. It's pulling on the jet stream. It's very large. And what happens above, as we all know, if you're at the top of the food chain, you're eventually going to get what they're going to send down to us. And I still say this area right here in Indonesia, something going on here, guys. I think we're seeing the eventual resting place of what will be the new South Pole.
I know that's a pretty bold thing to say, everybody, but remember that Wayne and I and Jake and all of our subscribers, we've been looking deeply at this stuff now for 6 months, 7 months. And when you start looking at this every single day, and then you get educated by people like Paul Beckwith and others, you start to realize how unusual the jet stream phenomena is. Now, because we went and got the education and went there and trying to report the truth to you the best we know how to, again, this is a situation where a troll could easily just say, that's not true. Well, most people don't know how to look at this data or know how to dive into the data. So WSO and our team, we took the time to dive in and figure out what this stuff is. I'm telling you, it's not normal, okay? Now, if you go do your own research, you're going to find the same thing.
Yeah. And we're learning so much more now about, the core of how the electromagnetic signature and the health of our planet is, and it's all related. If you look at what the core of the Earth is doing, you're going to be able to see it in the tectonics of the Earth. And if you want to look well and to see how it's doing in the atmosphere, it's going to show you as well. I personally think that our planet is reflecting what's happening with our sun. And I think our planet is trying to adjust on multiple fronts, not only with its star that we're dealing with, but I'm convinced that there's something coming out of the Kuiper Belt. And our planet is trying to compensate on multiple fronts, and this is what we're getting.
Here, I'm going to take the screen back for a second.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. I just wanted to show a recent stereo ahead. For some reason, they don't want us to see what's to the right on there. I just had to show that.
Yeah, I could be a real smart ass, but I'm just keep my mouth shut.
I know, right? They're not hiding nothing. All right, guys. Any final closing thoughts, Jake? And I'll go to you, Wayne.
Everybody just be vigilant, be aware, pay attention. Try not to get discouraged. I know there's a lot of folks out there, like you touched on, Steve, where they'll try to debunk the hell out of it and make you look like you're crazy. But, guys, the data doesn't lie. The science and the facts are there. And we are tracking something historical right now.
I agree.
Wayne?
Well, I just want everyone to be kind. Listen, there is a proverb that says you reap what you sow. And I believe if we would start sowing a little bit more kindness, a little bit more patience, we would get back a harvest, gentlemen, that we would have enough to continue to give to others. There you go, Steve. That's my 2 cents.
Right. And I'll end this up with, we are doing our darndest to bring you the truth as we see it and as we report on it. But, because of the massive challenge it is to research such a large cover-up, such a large, intricate thing, sometimes we make mistakes. And if we do make a mistake and we can pull it out, I really do want you to know that we will do our best to correct it as quickly as we can. And because we don't want to give you bad information, but at the same time, what you guys are seeing is a real-time unveiling of what's going on in front of 3 eyes. That's what you're watching right now. Don't think that we're coming at this with some kind of a big knowledge base or anything like that. We're learning right along with you. And I think that's what makes WSO a special channel.
I agree, Steve. I agree.
All right, you guys, have a good day. Thanks for being on the show.
Bye.
Bye-bye.